1, 2, 3, and here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Hey, everybody, what's rocking? It's Spinner Rack back in the house. I'm here with my boys, PD and Kyle. Not one guy, but two. These guys are going to be talking about what's happening with Supergirl. Oh, my goodness. It seems that Supergirl is going to definitely be getting let go by the CW universe. And what they're actually saying, this article that PD is going to show up, that Stargirl is going to be taking center place.
I'm not throwing that article. That is some nonsense. Why would I put that article up?
Why not? That article is definitely 100%.
That up. I'll put this one up from Forbes.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, you do what you want to do.
Ada's the Arrowverse is strange. Since you know about the Arrowverse, how is it strange? Explain to me that, Mr. Wizard.
I want to let my boy Cal say what he has to say so we can get in this show
let's get this out with the whole content before he finishes. He's a closer. Tell us about this in the six, how many seasons? 6 seasons? Give us an overview and then let him finish it.
So what's been happening with Arrowverse is that Supergirl has basically been made the main superhero or one of the main superheroes there. And they recreated the Justice League. They even had the Hall of Justice, if anybody remembers that stuff. And they literally put her in a position of
power?
Well, power, but one of the top people there, Supergirl. And the whole, when they were doing all these crossovers, they showed her that she's like the most powerful. She's stronger than Superman. She can do all these things. She can take on Superman villains. It doesn't matter. She is the ish. And now all of a sudden they're basically saying that Supergirl is going to be canceled this year. And there's a lot of reasons why, from when it moved over from CBS to CW, and in terms of the popularity. And of course, the character herself, she's doing other things too. She just had a kid. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. But you also have the popularity of new shows like Stargirl that came out, and they're trying to rebuild the whole CW Arrowverse brand. Some of the older shows are going out, such as Arrow itself went out last year. Flash is not the juggernaut it once was, but it's a very popular show. And you also have
Flash is still going, and Supergirl is gone.
That's what it looks like. Supergirl is going to finish out the year, I believe. I think they're starting the Arrowverse year this year in January because of the whole issue with the pandemic and the filming. So
you're saying Arrow is canceled, right?
Arrow's gone. But it's called the Arrowverse because it was the first show to basically kick everything off.
Okay, all right. So what's left? There's Black Lightning. The Legends of Tomorrow, that's still alive?
They're still alive.
So Legends of Tomorrow, Stargirl, Black Lightning, and ending is
Batwoman.
Oh God, Batwoman. Oh,
Batwoman. We had that whole issue with Ruby Rose dropping out, being the title character, and that was like one of the top shows on CW. When we look at it. So I mean, there's a whole host of histories for that, but they're constantly bringing new things. And Stargirl was really well received when it came out last year. Not last year, of course, earlier this year. So I guess they're like pinning their hopes on getting new customers. CW has a female demographic that they go after, and which is good. I mean, DC needs to get that particular demographic in terms of for their comics to continue buying their stuff. So there is a market that likes it. I mean, but a lot of us also like some of those shows too, so we can't knock them too bad. But like I said, Supergirl was considered the creme de la creme. She was the main. She was holding it up. She was supposed to take over from the Arrow when the Arrow left. But now they're having a new Superman show.
Who said that?
Huh?
Who said that? Who said that? Where did you read that?
Supergirl what? Read what?
What you just said.
I'm saying, remember when they set up the whole Justice League, they had the Supergirl there. She was like the pinnacle. She was the one who was able to fight these guys. She's super strong. She's the one that they heard was Arrow, Supergirl, and Flash. Those are 3.
She's taking over from Arrow? Why would it be her and not the Flash?
No, not in terms of that. I'm just talking about in terms of just the Justice League. I'm just saying that she's one of the pinnacles. Not that she was going to be the most popular one is the Flash, but you've always had who's been the most dominant there for a while, and definitely it was Arrow. The character played the Arrow, and then Flash is most popular.
She's of course now of it. She's the most dominant of the Arrowverse. In
terms of power, the character with Arrow being out the way is going to be her and Flash. Don't start with me, man, PD. I see you smiling back there and snickering in the back. Don't let me have to come through this window, this Zoom.
I think so. We're done now. We just have to have our closing remarks, right? Are you ready for our closing remarks, Cal?
I was born ready. with these closing remarks.
Bring it on, baby.
There it is. The floor is yours.
When the girl first debuted, I was probably one of the bigger exponents of the show. I looked at it. I liked what I saw. Originally, I was a little bit put off because some of the stills they were showing in promotion, and they had her like mean mugging, that type of stuff. And I was like, that's not Supergirl. And then when I saw the show, I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to be lighter, more superheroic. You know, I like that type of thing. Even then, it was still heavy-handed with the feminism. I mean, she literally was stopping two guys who were having some speeding match, men and this, that, and the other. Let it go, because I still like the heroism of the character. There was, I believe it was episode 5 where she loses her powers. And she stops this guy. She pretty much does a Superman moment, a story of Superman moment, where she talks the guy down, even though she's powerless, through the goodness of her own story. That she's able to convince him just to hand over the gun and he doesn't have to do this while she's totally powerless. He doesn't know this, but she's putting herself at risk in order to help people. I loved all of that stuff about the show. Even if it was uneven sometimes, I loved all that stuff about it. Unfortunately, they brought Superman onto the show. And while initially, when they brought it on, they ignored, and I love the fact that they ignored, look, we don't have to do the whole one-upsman thing. Who's better than who? They just had them working together, you know, cousins and so on and so forth. And I love that dynamic. It was refreshing, as a lot of comics tend to pit these guys against each other, but they couldn't keep there. They had to go over and have Supergirl back to Superman because she had to be the one. She had to be the strongest, the toughest, and then they went over the top with all the agenda. Every single bit of the agenda, to the point the show for me became totally unwatchable. The fact that this show was on for 6 seasons is a testament to how good the tax incentives and breaks are for the CW. So this show was just skimming the bottom at the end of the day. They brought characters on, they did storylines, and every single thing they could rip off from Superman, they took. They took the Fortress of Solitude. They took Jimmy Olsen. They took Lois Lane. They took everything, and they never developed Supergirl as her own character. Supergirl was never Kara Zor-El from Krypton. Supergirl was a cipher for a particular agenda and for a particular movement. And that is extremely disappointing, because even in the comics, there have been some decent runs where they told some really strong Supergirl stories. And here, it just became, look, she's just going to be female Superman at the end of the day. And we are going to make this moment, whatever this moment in history that's going to be about these particular social issues, she's going to be the mouthpiece for those particular issues. They never developed her story. They never gave her villains and characters of her own that you could even transpose to the comics that it did with other series. With the Green Arrow, you had Diggle. You know, Diggle became a popular character, went over to the comics, okay? With the Flash, we got to see characters that we didn't think would be on the show, and they made them cool. Characters like Gorilla Grodd, characters like King Shark, and they went over and they said, yeah, we can actually do this. It can be accomplished, and it's fun. Supergirl, no. They just laid down when it came to that, and for the worst possible reasons, because they had an agenda, okay? She never, they never looked at her as a character of full worth and a full value on her own. She was merely, okay, till the end, merely a tool to be used to execute these people who had an agenda, simply because she was female and simply because she had superpowers akin to Superman. They never lived up to the potential of that show. It lasted 6 seasons. I'm glad it's over.
Wow. That was strong.
Spinner rack.
Ouch!
Did you have anything to add to that, Mars?
I think it definitely found the market for...
I thought we were out. What happened? I thought we were out.
Mars looked like he had something to say. So let's...
Hey, I can't defend that, but you know what? Spinner rack, out.
Out. He gave in.